Prepare to peer into the enigmatic realm where truth is stranger than fiction. Welcome to a world that thrives beneath the surface of our everyday reality, a world where conspiracy theories are born. These theories, often dismissed as mere fabrications of the overactive mind, have time and again shaped the course of history and in some startling instances turned out to be true. Today we are embarking on a journey to uncover such truths, to explore the top 5 conspiracy theories that were once ridiculed, yet later confirmed. From clandestine government operations to unscrupulous scientific experiments, we'll delve into the heart of the shadowy events that once seemed too surreal to be real. Each tale is a testament to the adage that fact can indeed be more astounding than fiction. Are you ready to step into the shadows of reality and discover the unbelievable truths that lay hidden? We begin our countdown with a chilling plot from the Cold War era, Operation Northwoods. This audacious plan, conceived by the Department of Defense and the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the early 60s, was nothing short of a proposed false flag operation against the Cuban government. Now, if you're wondering what a false flag means, it's essentially a covert operation designed to deceive. An action made to appear as though it were carried out by individuals, entities, or nations other than those who actually planned and executed them. The aim of Operation Northwoods, to create public support for a war against Cuba, which was under the leadership of Fidel Castro at the time. The plan detailed a series of potential actions, such as orchestrating apparent terrorist attacks on U.S. soil, hijacking planes, and even manufacturing evidence of Cuban involvement in international incidents. The idea was that these incidents would appear to be unprovoked Cuban aggression, thereby justifying military intervention by the United States. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The proposed operation was presented to Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara in March of 1962, but was ultimately rejected by the Kennedy administration. Yes, you heard that right. The plan to deceive the American public and potentially ignite a war was turned down by President Kennedy himself. The declassified documents relating to Operation Northwoods were publicly released in the year 2001 as part of the John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act of 1992. These documents serve as a stark reminder of the lengths to which some elements within the government were willing to go to advance their political objectives. Operation Northwoods, a plan that thankfully never came to fruition, stands as a chilling example of the potential dark side of governmental power. It's a stark reminder of the need for transparency, checks and balances, and accountability in any democratic system. And it's a sobering start to our countdown. A chilling reminder of the lengths some are willing to go to achieve their political goals. Moving on to number 4, we uncover a dark chapter in medical history, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. This disturbing revelation is a stark reminder of how the pursuit of knowledge can sometimes trample the very essence of humanity and ethics. From 1932 to 1972, for an unbelievable span of 40 years, the United States Public Health Service conducted an experiment on unsuspecting African American men in Macon County, Alabama. These men were led to believe they were receiving free health care. But the reality was far more sinister. They were, in fact, part of a cruel study aimed at observing the progression of untreated syphilis. Their trust was exploited. These men were told they were being treated for bad blood, a term commonly used in the local community to describe various ailments, including syphilis, anemia, and fatigue. However, the truth was they were denied proper treatment for syphilis, even after penicillin was recognized as an effective cure in the mid-1940s. The deception didn't stop there. Even when the Nuremberg Code was established in 1947, setting ethical guidelines for medical experimentation on humans, the Tuskegee Experiment continued unabated. These men, their health deteriorating, were kept in the dark about their condition and the availability of effective treatment. The truth behind this unethical experiment was finally exposed in 1972 by a whistleblower, putting an end to 4 decades of deception and abuse. Yet, the damage was done. Numerous men had died, families were shattered, and trust in the medical community was severely compromised. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment stands as a grim reminder of the abuse of power and the violation of human rights under the guise of scientific research. It's a haunting testament to the depths humanity can sink in pursuit of knowledge, and a warning that the quest for scientific advancement should never compromise the dignity and rights of individuals. At number 3, we delve into the aftermath of World War II with Operation Paperclip. As the dust settled on the battlefields and the world began to pick up the pieces, a covert operation was quietly unfolding. Operation Paperclip was a secret program of the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, largely carried out by special agents of Army CIC. It was a plan so audacious, so unbelievable, that it would seem to belong more in the pages of a spy novel than in the annals of history. The goal? To recruit and employ German scientists, including former Nazis, in a bid to gain an upper hand in the impending Cold War. Imagine this. The very individuals who had once created weapons for a regime that threatened to engulf the world in darkness were now being sought after by the US government. And not just sought after, but actively recruited, their past affiliations conveniently swept under the rug. Among these recruits was Werner von Braun, a former member of the Nazi Party and the SS, who would later become the driving force behind the Saturn V rocket and the Apollo moon landing. Yes, that's right. The US space program, one of the most significant achievements of the 20th century, was spearheaded by a man who had once pledged allegiance to Hitler. But why? Why would the United States, a country that had fought so fiercely against the Nazis, choose to employ their scientists? The answer, as is often the case, boils down to power. In the wake of World War II, a new conflict was looming on the horizon. The Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were vying for dominance, and both saw the potential of these scientists to tip the scales in their favor. Operation Paperclip is a stark reminder of the lengths nations will go in the pursuit of power. It's a tale of moral ambiguity where the lines between right and wrong were blurred in the name of progress and dominance. A startling example of how the quest for power can blur the lines of morality and justice. Our number 2 spot takes us into the mind-bending world of Project MK Ultra. Project MK Ultra, a name that sounds like it's ripped straight from a science fiction novel, is actually a disconcerting chapter in the annals of real-world history. It's a tale of the CIA's covert operations during the Cold War, a time when the boundaries of morality were blurred in the pursuit of control and dominance. In the 1950s and 60s, the Central Intelligence Agency embarked on a secret program that aimed to develop drugs and procedures for interrogation and torture. The goal was mind control, a chilling concept that feels more at home in dystopian fiction than in the reality of our past. But it was all too real. MK Ultra involved illegal experiments on unwitting subjects, often American citizens, who were administered various substances, including LSD. These experiments were conducted without their consent, a gross violation of human rights that still sends shivers down our spines. These subjects, sometimes plucked from the general populace, were subjected to psychological torture and manipulation under the guise of scientific research. The intent was to create truth serum, or ways to control an individual's mind completely. It was a dark quest, one that sought to turn humans into pawns, the perfect tools for espionage and warfare. The extent of the project's success remains shrouded in mystery. Many of the files were destroyed in the early 70s, conveniently just before the operation was brought to public attention. However, the fragments that remain have unveiled a picture of a project that was as ambitious as it was unethical. Project MK Ultra stands as a stark reminder of a time when the quest for power led some to forsake the fundamental principles of humanity. The experiments conducted under its banner serve as a chilling testament to the lengths that institutions can and sometimes will go to in order to gain an upper hand. A shocking testament to the depths some will sink to in the pursuit of control and dominance. And finally, at number 1, we revisit a pivotal event in history, the Gulf of Tonkin incident. A controversial episode that escalated the Vietnam War, the incident was said to involve an unprovoked attack on US naval vessels by North Vietnamese forces. This alleged aggression was used as a justification to further involve the United States in the conflict. But was it all as it seemed? Well, years later, it was admitted that the incident had been significantly exaggerated. In fact, some reports even go as far as to say that the attack may not have happened at all. The confirmation of these exaggerations, some believe, reveals a calculated manipulation of facts, specifically intended to rally support for the war. This incident serves as a chilling example of how narratives can be shaped, and truth can be bent to serve particular agendas. A stark reminder that truth can often be the first casualty in the fog of war. As we end our journey through the shadowy corridors of history, let's take a moment to reflect. We've journeyed through Operation Northwoods, the shocking plan for a false flag operation to justify war. We've uncovered the disturbing truth of the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, a dark chapter in medical ethics. Operation Paperclip has shown us how the world's superpowers can sometimes blur the lines between good and evil. Project MK Ultra has reminded us of the chilling lengths governments might go to control minds. And finally, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, a pivotal event that led us into a tragic war, was not quite as it seemed. These are the stories that urge us to question, to probe deeper, to look beyond the surface. They remind us of the importance of critical thinking, of not accepting everything at face value. As we step out of these shadowy corridors, let's carry this spirit of inquiry with us. Remember, sometimes the truth may be hiding right under your nose, waiting to be discovered.